We acquired Miss Lassie's property in 2008, and today we're delighted to be opening the center so that future generations of Caymanians can appreciate this wonderful legacy that we have that represents Caymanian culture and heritage.
It was an honor to be asked to paint the replicas for Miss Lassie's house. I was actually involved a few years ago. A few artists had given their time and volunteered some time and done one. And then they came back a couple years later and asked me to take on 12 of them. So yes, it was an amazing process. I learned a lot doing it. It's very difficult, actually, as simple as they look. The process was very difficult. She had a lot of layers to things, and she wouldn't wait for things to dry sometimes, so they would just be mixed right on. She would change things, so there would be underlying images and stuff. So, but it was wonderful. It was. I learned so. I just thought she was kind of reminded me of like a child, like she lived in some sort of magical world, you know, to paint like that at that stage of her life. I thought it was really wonderful.
The most interesting part, I suppose, was creating the shutters, because they were created over 100 to 130 years altogether in different periods as they were needed, as old ones rotted or fell apart. And so they were made by different craftsmen. Each one is different, each one made of different materials, some made of old materials, scraps of lumber, some made of new material. And so each one of them had to be made individually, and that made the project very interesting, because they all had to be done one at a time. We couldn't really make them on a production line. And also it made it very interesting for Sue Howe, who painted all of them and did a really superb job in creating the final appearance, just as Miss Lassie had painted them herself.
Well, this evening marks a kind of, I don't want to say a turning point, but a kind of a new sort of chapter in the way we view history, our culture, cultural heritage in the Cayman Islands. At least I hope that is what it means. It will mean to people. That's certainly what it means to me. And this is the property of an old woman who has passed away now, but who has left us a tremendous legacy. Her paintings represent her life as mirrored in the life of Christ. I mean, she was someone who was humiliated. You know, people thought she was crazy. You know, people sort of threw things at her. They looked at her as somebody who was completely outside of normal society. And yet, this kind of work that she has left us, you cannot find it among many people who are in what we call normal society. So basically, in a way, we're learning every day that we have to look at people basically on what they produce rather than how they look and who they are.